Start her up.
Hey guys, George here, back again with another train stream.
Welcome to Fast Friday, GFW Trains.
Talk about everything, but mostly trains.
Good to see everybody here. Hope everyone's having a great Friday, hanging out.
Yeah, it's Friday, man.
Talking some trains. I am Wally, and this is
George, otherwise known as GFW.
Welcome to Fast Friday. For those of you that are new around here, welcome to GFW Trains.
We talk about everything, but mostly trains.
And for those of you that are part of the GFW Trains Nation, the train family, welcome back. Hope you're having a great weekend, huh, George?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I would normally be happy that it's Friday, but I'm actually kind of sad because on Monday we got to go back to school.
So, George, getting some comments here about the new look.
No, I'm just kidding, man. it's still here. I wanted to see if anybody would notice.
No, man, George is just trying to fool everybody. But I want everybody to take a look. Look at that smile right there. So if he not the haircut, but the smile. No more braces for George.
Yeah, man. Told him to take them off, rip them out. Which had to have been, yeah. It feels like there's like a lump gone.
Right? Straight teeth. So, hey, cool stuff going on with George. Welcome, everybody, to Fast Friday. We've got a great show. Our good friend Shawn from MTH Productions is going to be here. I think we're going to hang out, talk a little bit about trains, see his train room. He's got a really cool train room for those of you that have never met Shawn or have never seen MTH Productions. Talk about Shawn all the time. He's kind of like, I always like to say he's old money. He's been around doing this YouTube thing for a long, long time. You're kind of old money, but you started back when you were about 3. But not that old.
I was 9.
He was 9.
Yeah.
He was 9. So, yeah. So, let's see who we got in the house, George. Let's welcome everybody. Get high. What do we or not get? Say hi. Not drink up. Have some iced tea, everybody. Kick back, relax. All right, so I'm starting off here a little bit behind the 8 ball with the people that we've got here. For those of you that are new here, usually when we get the stream rolling, we check everybody in and say hello. We got North Country Trains. Welcome to the stream, North Country Trains. For those of you who haven't seen it already, North Country Trains just debuted a new video over there. It is his channel. He's been doing some neat videos, George, where he's putting them out right before the GFW Trains, like a preview.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's 6:30 Central Time he comes out, puts those out, and then on the GFW Trains. So I think that's a kind of a fun little give and take there, right?
Yeah, really cool.
We got Train Storm, PR Marquette Productions, LJL Rail Yard, our good friends from across the pond, Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. Good to see you. Train Finder Craig, who's out buying MTH trains this week at that auction. That's something we got to talk about. Is that that MTH auction and liquidation there?
MTH.
Yep. Kathy's in the house. Good to see you back, Kathy. Of course, we got our man Dak Man in the house. Mike from Cross Anchors. Hey, welcome. I hope that everybody's getting ready to have a fun weekend. Kick back, relax, grab some iced tea, and let's talk some trains. Let's see. Rick R's in the house. Good to see you, Rick. GSMR 1702 is here. Good to see you. Pete Clark, hello. Right back at you, my friend. Let's see here. Train Storm, PR Marquette Productions. Fantastic to see you. Pete Clark's here. Good to see you, Pete. North Country. Oh, we got North Country Trains already.
Train Storm?
Let's see. Rick. We got our Rick R. Rolling through here. We got ours trains. Welcome, Corey.
Trains.
We're going through here pretty good. Grandma Nita's here. all the way from Florida. Wish you were right here. For those of you that are new to the channel, Grandma Nita's the one that's responsible for all of the beautiful paintings right behind us. We've got so we got Grandma Nita. We've got Jeopardize 07 here in the house. GSMR 1702. Saying hello, everyone. I love how everyone says hello to everybody. It's kind of cool, like neat little community thing, right, John?
Sir. Yeah.
GFW Trains Nation, or the Train family, right?
Yes, Train family.
Jim Williams. It was so fun to have Jim. He's here in the house. It's so fun to have him on the stream the last 2 times, wasn't it, George?
Oh yeah, it's been a real cool kind of connecting with him the last month and a half.
So, for those of you who don't know, Jim Williams is the proprietor or the big cheese for Dream Layouts. We've been working on our layout here. We'll get to that in just a second, but we were working on that second level. Got that second level almost complete.
Yes,
Steam Heads here. Aurora Shea. Good to see you, Aurora. Thanks for coming by. Take a drink. If you guys are playing, take a drink. Stephen Kofrol. Good to see you, Stephen. Train Finder Craig hooking us up with the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, my man. Cat Nuts in the house. Welcome, welcome. And Greg Barton, all the way from Virgin Town, Utah. We're going to be out there. In fact, next week we're not going to be having our stream because we're going to be out there in Utah. So everybody's going to take a pause. In fact, I was thinking about what we're going to do for that. So I'm not sure if we're going to be on. Well, we're not going to be on, but I was thinking about trying to reach out to see if somebody wanted to take the GFW train slot and be a guest host on that. I thought that what might be fun to do, to reach out to somebody. Bill Cabernis in the house. Hope I'm getting everybody, not missing everybody. Cat Nuts wants to know how soon we'll get the speech. Well, I'm not going to give the speech just yet. I'll get to the speech soon. It's going to be at the front end and at the back end. I need to give that speech a little bit more, but I also would invite everybody who's just rolling through the door to do us a huge favor. And what should they do, George?
Smash the like button.
And why should they do that?
Because so then the YouTube algorithm can pick up the video and give it give other people the opportunity to see the video that didn't get to see it the first time.
Right. So please do that for us. It's very, very helpful. It's nice because sometimes people don't get to get on the live stream here. Sometimes they even forget about it. So that like button hooks us up on the algorithm and pushes that out to people who haven't been able to see this. And just expands the audience. That's what we want to do. Who would not want to expand the audience for this? Mr. Smiley, let's see that clean smile, George. Clean smile. So we got Grandpa in the house. Good to see you, Grandpa. Yeah, Mike, we got that. Metro Rail Fanner guy. Metro Rail Fanner guy. Oh, gosh, I just lost my place. Metro Rail Fanner guy 402. Here we go. And Devin McKenzie. Good to see you, Devin. Thanks for coming by, hanging out with us this evening. And it just bounced me out. I missed some.
Mike from Crossed Anchors.
Yep, we got him like Trains and Things in KNR Custom Railroads. Hey, welcome. We got some of his stuff on the layout here. He's makes all kinds of neat 3D printed train stuff. Check out his channel. Check out the stuff that he makes. We've got a couple of little dwarf lanterns, and we're lined up. We're going to be in the line to get some more of those around the house here. Around the layout here. Lee River Subdivisions here. Funkmaster Beavis, hello, welcome. Slag Cat, Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. Good to see you here. I have not used this side of it in a while, and this side's driving me nuts. Just using I
think that's everybody.
Let's see here. Everything's going too fast for me right now. Here we go. Grandma, Devon, Funkmaster Beavis. We got Humanity here. Good to see you, Humanity.
Humanity just got some low scale stuff.
I know. I like to hear that. Golden Leaf Railroad. How's it going there, Golden Leaf? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so Humanity got himself a GG1, huh?
GG1, and then I saw he did a stream.
Good work, Heath.
And,
good work on that.
He had another Carnival steam engine too.
Really?
Yeah, like an 027 one.
Grandpa says raise your hands if you didn't say hi. Hey, thanks for the super sticker there, Cross Anchors. For those of you that are just coming through the door, welcome. Please sign yourself in, throw something up on the chat. We'll say hello just like that with Ravenhawk. Welcome, Ravenhawk. We've got a lot of neat things going on here. What I want to do really quick here is I wanted you to talk about what we're running today, George.
Okay, so what we're running today, actually, we got some new stuff or stuff that you guys haven't seen in a while. So on the outside track, we have our C&O mallet, or I think it's H5 or something like that, with some C&O heavyweights.
We haven't run those in a while, huh?
Yeah, I think that the last time we ran them, it was like our 5th or 6th stream. But yeah, with the Berkshire. And so this is the first time we've actually ran those cars with the mallet, and they seem to be running real nice. Then on the inside track is something I know that we haven't run on the stream in a while. It's the Pennsylvania Y3.
Oh, I love that engine. That's a neat one.
With just a simple freight train that I made up. And yeah, so that is what we're running today.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, we got some new things going on the layout we're working on. We've been working on mostly on the side that you can't see with the second level, but we've finally gotten the second level back around. You can see it over here, kind of going around. It was at the bridge there, but now we've got it going around back behind New York City and looping back around here. And we've got, you can see the beginning of where the ledge is at, where we're going to start the incline to the lower level. We're going to be working on that tomorrow. So hopefully next time people tune in, sleepy.
Wow.
George is on his spring break. This is George's spring break episode. So he's spring break, even though he's on spring break, we're yanking him out of school next week for a learning adventure.
It is very educational.
Yep, we're headed down to see Uncle Greg and Antoinette, right? It'd be a lot of fun doing that. Uncle Greg is thinking about rolling, or he's wanting to dial up a layout. We're going to go down there. One of the things we're going to be doing is helping him down there.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to do that, man. Yeah, it's definitely really cool. Sorry. Just got some trouble with my shit.
George has got it. We got these new mics, so George is trying to get it all set up so that I guess it doesn't itch. Is that what you're...
No, it was like my shirt was folding over and it was on my neck and it kind of was just like annoying. But anyways, we're back. That Train Guy Mason, welcome to the stream.
Train Guy Mason, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, thanks for coming in. So let's, without any further ado, bring in our guest for the evening. You guys probably all know him because he's a big part. In fact, he's one of the godfathers of our train community here. He's been doing this for a long time. Dakman Productions is the name of his channel. If you haven't seen his channel, you're going to have to check it out down below. He does videos, all kinds of right across the board on train stuff. And like I said, he's been doing it for a long time. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Shawn from Dakman Productions. Shawn, we'll get you in here. How you doing today, Shawn?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
Fantastic. Happy Fast Friday. I know that you're not a guy. You're a Coca-Cola guy, right?
Yes. Yeah, I gotta have the Coke.
Go.
Yep.
I'm a Coke guy too. I like Coke.
A Coke and a smile. Hey there, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Pictavid's in the house. Good to see you. Well, hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Oh yeah, it's my first time being on a Fast Friday show, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, for sure. So, for those of you that don't know you very well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel there?
Sure. I started YouTube back in 2010, although I took a couple, a year's worth of videos off because when I started in 2010, I wasn't shooting in HD yet, and I wasn't sure shooting videos was going to be something I was going to like to do. So I put up a YouTube channel, Dakman Productions, and then went to train shows and shot video, and people liked it, even though it wasn't high definition. So in 2011, I went HD 720.
HD. Nice.
Yep. And I started shooting videos at train shows. Then it grew from there to clubs, and then it just grew there to train shows, and it just kept growing and growing because people liked what I was doing. Because I wanted to. The main reason for Dakman Productions was to promote train shows, to promote the model train hobby, and to bring these events to people who could not go. They're either handicapped or elderly or some too far away, but it could bring train shows to people who couldn't otherwise would never see what was there. And that was the whole point of me starting this, was just pure promotion. And with the putting clubs out there. So anytime you see me post a video, there's two things you're going to see right up front in the video. I'm going to promote whoever's hosting the show, whether it's a train club, train show, whoever it is, and then I'll put the club names in there as well, so people know that video was for this club or that club. So people think because I'm O-Gauge, I only do O-Gauge videos, and that's not true. You go onto my channel, and I have different sections of playlist sections. I have one for O, I got one for G, and I got one for other. That's called other model scales. And I've done HO, I've done N, I've done Z scale. If I had time at a train show, it doesn't matter if it's HO, N, Z. I'll shoot video of it because I know people have a variety of interests, and I wanted to make sure I brought that across the board. So that's pretty much. And I've done some rail fanning, but that's not really my thing. I just, if I go to an excursion or if I do a rail fan or something for my personal self, I'll still shoot video. But I don't go after that exclusively. Train shows is basically what started me on all this.
Well, that's pretty cool. Definitely very cool. So then, how did you get started into going to train shows?
Well, what happened is I was originally in the model or in the car hobby there for a while, and I wasn't happy because basically let's leave it at I wasn't happy with the club politics and stuff like that. So I got out of the car club hobby and went back into the train hobby. And let me tell you, it's a whole different world of people. From the car show hobby to the train, I was a lot more happier. The people were a lot more friendly, or they're a lot more open. It seemed like so. Because I was so beat up over car shows and stuff, I got into it a little bit at a time. But in 2007, I got into G scale in 2000. That's when I got out of the car show hobby. It was 2000. I dived into G scale. In 2007, I started going to train shows, and I took pictures, and I posted them on a website. And people were like, wow, we didn't know this train show was here, blah, blah. Can you post more the next year? I think I put up like 30 pictures. 2008, I put up maybe 100 pictures, and people were like, well, can you post more? It's like, okay, yeah. So 2009, I posted like 200 or 300 pictures, and they're like, okay, is there any way you can get us video? And then 2010, I got a non-HD cheap camcorder, shot some video, and everybody was like, wow, we liked your video. So in 2011, the East Coast Large Scale Train Show, which is mainly what I was going to at that time, they had an official videographer there who did all the videos for professionally. And he announced he lost his sponsor and he could no longer go back to the show, and he wasn't going back to the show anymore. So I'm thinking to myself, this is the perfect opportunity for me to slip in there, get an HD camcorder, and start shooting videos. And that's how I got started. And I liked doing that. I liked promoting the clubs and stuff, and I just liked doing the videos and stuff. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it made people happy. It made the club members happy. It made a lot of people happy that they got to see that something that they normally couldn't see, and so that just drove me to do more and more. And I just kept moving on from there. I eventually got into doing Greenberg, World's Greatest Hobby, O-Gauge clubs. I've done even a local HO club in my area wanted me to come over, and I shot video twice for them. So it doesn't matter the size, scale, training. I like them all, and I like meeting new people.
So it's a big deal when Dakman shows up at your show.
Yes, sir.
Big deal. You know you're a big deal when we got Dakman in the house.
Thanks.
What's your favorite?
What's my favorite show?
Or your favorite stuff to video? We'll go on that one. What's your favorite? So you video all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
If you had one go-to and they said, Shawn, you can only video one thing for the rest of your videography, what would it be?
Oh boy. That's tough. I don't know if I could pick out just one thing. there's just so much that I like about the train hobby as a whole,
Right. No, that is a tough one. That's like me asking which is my favorite child, George or Anita. And it's awkward when I have to answer Anita every time.
Wow.
All right. So all right. How about your top three or so? Your top three.
My top three videos?
Yeah, the things that you like to video. If you can't just pick out one.
Videos, certain things that I liked in the video. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to say that definitely the Garden Railway tours that I've done, specifically the one that I do in Pennsylvania. There's this guy that has a massive Garden Railroad, and it's all trestles and stuff like that. He usually has speed trains running, and to see that in person is pretty neat. He did a good job, and that when I first shot that video in 2018, that guy was so happy that I promoted him. That video got a lot of views. I mean, within a month, I think that it reached like 5,000 views. So that would be definitely one of the ones that I get to highlight. And then there was a couple of O-Gauge ones that I've done where I was there and at the show, and they had these intermodal trains going, and it was all modern trains, and I really liked that scene. And then actually the local club, the North Penn O-Gaugers, I've done a couple of many shoots for them, but they have a beautiful indoor layout. They actually liked my video work so much they actually made me their official club videographer. So, but I get invited there. I get to run a train on their layout, and it's just a lot of fun to be there.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So, now you do these videos, and if for those of you that haven't seen Dakman's videos, they're next level stuff. He really puts a lot of time and effort. And like he said, he was doing HD long before everybody else was doing HD, which was kind of unique and nice, real nice. So when you were doing all of this videography, or you're beginning the videography, Shawn, did you take any classes, or was it just something that you picked up on the fly?
Well, I was doing before I got on YouTube, I was doing videos off of a 3 megapixel camera, and they were horrible. And I just posted them on this website, and people still liked the videos because it was something that I guess was better than nothing, but they were just terrible. And so and I can say that now looking back on that. But then I did in 2010 when I went to the train show and did that non-HD video. I was kind of like shaky. I wasn't really too good at it. But then a guy in G-Scale, who's doing decals, he's seen what I was trying to do, and I didn't know at the time, but he was actually a retired wedding photographer, and he took me under his wing and he showed me some tricks and stuff like that. And so that really helped a lot. And then the rest was just pretty much by trial and error. What worked, what didn't work. Going off the comments of the videos. Hey, can you next time? Can you do this, this, and this? Or make sure when you show the train, show the caboose too. Don't cut the train off. And it was mainly the first couple of years was pretty much burned by the fire. But if it wasn't for the help of the professional, retired wedding photographer, I don't think I could have done it as good as I have. And it's with his advice and help. So I didn't go to a class, but I did get help. Yes.
Ah, very good, very good. Well, we got a couple people on here, Shawn. North Country Trains is suggesting to go to a couple shows out by him. He says you got to come out here to shoot our shows at Manassa, New York, and St. Albans, Vermont, and Albany, New York. And Ted Smith also says the Clayton, New York train show is always good. Where is your the area of train shows that you usually hit?
I try to hit anywhere in New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, anywhere in Delaware, and Eastern Maryland. I've been having people want me to go into New York and also into Massachusetts to shoot the Amherst show, which I still haven't done yet. But Massachusetts is like a long ride for me. That's like a 12-hour ride. So, I don't know. I would have to plan for something like that. That'd be like not a trip I could do every year. But, New York could be a doable situation for me where, that's only like a 3-hour ride or a 3.5-hour ride to get most places in New York and do something up in there for them.
Now, when you do your train shows, you like to go to the ones where the people are set up, or do you do ones that are swap meets, or both?
I personally like to go to train shows where I can see and shoot video of something running. Meets are cool and stuff if you're looking to buy, but let's face it, I'm MTH Productions. I'm looking for places where I can shoot video of people running trains. So if there's a show and they're running trains, then I'm going to try and make it there. Like if it's a Garden Railway Club or a Garden Railway Tour or a train club, I've even been to a train club meet where they held a meeting, and then after the meeting they ran trains, and I got to shoot video of this. So I just sat in on the meeting, even though I wasn't a member because I was invited. Then after they said basically just as a member, you can't, non-member, you can't speak, but after the meeting's over, we're happy to, more than welcome to shoot video. So I sat there through the whole meeting and then shot video of the trains.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Speaking of train shows and you being there from the New Jersey area, George and I are part of the TCA, and I know we've talked about it a lot. We've even talked with you a little bit, not necessarily on our show, but George has talked at great lengths about it, or not at great lengths, but talked about it on Cross Anchors. But there's a division of the Train Collectors Association. For everybody that doesn't know about the Train Collectors Association, George and I are part of it. It's a nationwide train club that's mostly O-gauge. And even though it's train collectors, it's called the Train Collectors Association. There's a broad spectrum of people who like trains, all the way from collecting to operating.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it's really cool too because there's you go from like having people who are really big into like the post-war stuff, know a lot about that, to people who have these monster like huge collections of like modern trains, huge layouts, even like modular groups within the TCA, which are really cool, that run O-scale trains.
But there's a division meet out there in New Jersey on April 10th. That's right around the corner.
And that's cool. But I'm under the assumption, and I could be wrong, that the TCA normally doesn't allow videography.
Well, yes and no. The TCA, it's not that they don't allow videography, and each division has their own rules, Shawn. There are some rules about videography in regards to York, which is the Eastern Division. the York is a meet for the Eastern Division. So each different division has their own rules on that. And to be honest, right off the top of my head, I don't know what the rules are there for Metka, but I would invite you to go. And if that's something that you're interested in, we can definitely line you up so that you could head over there and at least take in the show. I don't remember right off the top of my head where that's at. I'm going to look that up while we're rolling on the show here.
Okay, sounds good. But if the TCA, and I'll just put this out there, if the actual TCA, the Eastern Division, or whoever, Becca was, decided that they, to allow me to shoot video and gave me specifics of what I could and couldn't do, I'd be more interested in doing that.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Dagman, because one of the things that we are, I've been talking with some of the people in the TCA about doing is seeing if we can get some of our YouTube community into the different TCA meets, and specifically into the York meet, to try and really do some on location train show video footage and some on location just on location promotion, not necessarily promotion, but just some cross promotion of both the TCA and of the different meets.
Yeah, I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, because you look on my YouTube channel, I mean, you'll see Greenbergs, you'll see the world's greatest hobbies and the great scale train shows and all these places that I've been. But I mean, how many times can you go on YouTube and actually see something about the TCA? It's like kind of like hard. I mean, and I would love to put something out there like that for them, and it would be a promotion to help them, in their organization, and possibly get more members and promote their York show.
So just the one in New Jersey, it's April 10th, and it's at the St. Joseph School in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I don't know how close that is to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure without looking that up.
But and the Stu Rankin, who's on here, is Lionel LLC, says Metka welcomes videos. And, April 10th in Rutherford, New Jersey, near the MetLife Stadium.
Okay. Well, send me if you could send me some information on that, I'd be more than happy to.
I'm gonna post up the Metka. I'll send that to you specifically. But for all of the people that are interested here, I'm gonna post up the link for Metka on the stream. And they've got a lot of neat they've got a really neat division and a lot of neat products. But I've just posted up on the posted that up on the chat. And Stu Rankin, who is coming through on the chat as Lionel LLC, wants me to hook you guys up offline. So if you don't mind, Shawn, I'm going to pass
that's fine. Go ahead. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, I'd be more interested in doing that for them.
Stu is one of the actually Stu is the president
of the National TCA,
and he's the guy I've been talking to about some videos and stuff at York. So,
all right, well, Stu, take a look at my channel and see if take a look at my video work, and I'm pretty sure you'd be more than happy with it.
Well, we've already bantered around your name a couple of times about being a good person for cross promotion. So this is a match made in heaven if you can get it out there to the Metka meet.
Oh yeah, and it's something I love to do, and I've never been to a Metka meet, so it's like a plus for me.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Anyway, I'm looking at Train Finder Craig's question, and he's asking, "Will I like to shoot video at entertainment down road from in Mason, Ohio?" And I actually been talking to Mr. Pictavid about taking a trip out to Ohio for a while, and I was going to do it actually in 2020, but then COVID hit. So yeah, I am interested in not only doing Entertainment Junction, but also Cornfield Museum in Ohio. So those are the two places I do want to go to.
Where's Entertainment Junction?
That's in Mason, Ohio.
Okay, I think that's the one that we went to, but we didn't go in.
Oh yeah,
it's they advertise it as being like the biggest train layout in the world or something like that. Is that the one?
Yeah, it's a G scale.
Yeah, that George and I were there, but we went through the hobby shop, but we were there right as it was closing.
Yeah, we got to see it through the glass. That was really cool. Because we were coming back from canoe nationals, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really cool.
So yeah, Humanity Junction is saying that if it's near MetLife Station, that it's near him too. So
Cool.
Heath, I'll have to push out that information to you, or get you connected up with Stu. Now that you're an O scale guy, well, it's not necessarily a little known fact anymore, but he's starting to be sucked in. Shawn Heath over there at Humanity Junction starting to get sucked in.
I seen that, and I tell you, I'm looking at a lot of his stuff. He's been talking to me before he even held the show, and asking me questions. I've been answering them, but I was looking at the photos that he sent me before he even posted about the show, and I really liked those animal cracker cars that he found in K-Line. I mean, it just reminds me of my childhood when I used to eat the animal crackers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You are very good. And then Humanity says, "Shh, not saying that I'm an O scale guy. You are. You're going to give people the wrong idea." There's nothing wrong with being an O scale and an N guy at the same time.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Because I'm in that same boat.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people in that do multi skills, not just one skill.
Oh, yeah. Yes. In fact, yeah, that definitely something that's really cool. That's the other cool part about it too, is like trained people are trained people. Like it feels like it's such a small group of people that whenever you meet another trained person, it's like you instantly connect.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what skill you do.
So yeah. It's a cool community. We all speak the same language, which is a perfect segue into my weekly speech, everybody. For those of you that are new around here, this is what I want to tell you. And for those of you that have been around here for a while, hey, thanks for being part of this community. But we have got a really, really cool community here in a nice corner of YouTube where we've got all of these people that are model railroaders and love model trains. And there's some neat synergy going here. We've gotten closer as we've had this stay at home through the COVID. And while it has been difficult with the COVID and staying at home, one of the blessings of it is that we've all gotten a chance to meet each other and become closer. Right, George?
Yeah.
Speech. George is like, speech.
Everybody saying speech. Both countries said a bit later than last week.
Yeah, it is. But the point of my speech is, and I just want to say it again, is that it's really, really cool, and it's very, very humbling. And I know Shawn feels the same way too. It's really humbling when you have all of these people that really kind of are buying into and care about what you're doing, isn't it, Shawn?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny how COVID twisted things around, because DACman Productions always focused on what other people were doing. I was bringing train shows and club meets and all that to everybody, but then the showstopper happened and COVID shut everything down. So basically, I had nothing. So I was able to redirect and focus on Conahey Rail, which people who watch my videos, that's I actually have two O gauge layouts. One's a high rail layout, Conahey Rail, and then I have a traditional layout as well, where I have all my MPC trains that I used to have when I was a kid. So it was Heath who got me into. I was bored one day, and I remember going through the TV, and I'd say, you know what? Because I streamed to my TV. I went to YouTube and just started going, and I ran into Heath's show. And I think that was the first live show that I ran into, Human City. And I started typing in. I started getting involved. I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. You get to talk to people. It's like being at a train show. You know what I mean? It's almost just as good. And so I did another one with Crossed Anchors, and I enjoyed them. And then I eventually became a co-host for them. And I just started. It just felt like I was at a train show all over again. I really wasn't missing it.
Right.
So these live shows really did and make a big difference to me. Meeting new people and getting to see people and chat with the people who come up into the chat and that way. And I'm sure once we get back into the train shows, I'll see many of these people there. There's people there who in the chat now that recognize me from train shows and stuff. So.
No, that's cool. And that's cool. And one of the things that I always like to say in my speech is that we need to support each other because it's cool. We all speak the same language, right? And
nothing. No. You continue.
All right there, Smiley. Oh, George is just actually. I like this as a dad, and it's probably not for the reasons that you think. I like this because he's smiling. I spent thousands of dollars on that smile. Prices are off. There it is, $1,000, multi-$1,000. George, 2 big boys for that right there.
Well, you could have told me you're smiling. You could have told me that before we got the braces.
Keep smiling. That was your mom's doing. If I had anything to do about it, you'd still be snaggletooth, and I'd have 2 big boys. But anyway, everybody, please go out there, support each other's channels, see who's on here, check out their channels. Like I said, there's some neat stuff going on. I know that one of our usual suspects around here, DB Tech's going to be trying to do a live stream somewhere tomorrow. Keep an eye out for his. North Country Trains just came out with a new video. And if you've come out with a new video that you want to promote, please put it up on the stream. We'd love to talk about a little bit about that. So, yeah. Support each other. It's really, really important.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, I have I put up on my YouTube channel, the main channel, what I call Model Railroad Network. And anybody who I meet or, got to meet, whatever, I keep adding people into that network.
So speaking of the network, one of our favorites around here is Cat Nuts at Southern Yankee Railroad. He's always showing up, and he's got some neat videos out there. He likes to put out layouts on his on the floor. He's an O-gauge guy. He's got 63 stubs. He thought he'd never have more than 20, and he's thanking everybody. So if you haven't seen Cat Nuts at Southern Yankee Railroad's YouTube channel, go over there, check it out. Hit him up with a sub because he's got some neat content, right, George?
Oh, yes.
Got some neat content, and he'd certainly appreciate people rolling over there and shooting him the sub. That would be great.
So I've got a question, Shawn. So you have your scale layout. When did you start with that?
The Conahey High Rail started in 2015, and it was really never originally meant to be a scale layout originally. I was still, like I said, I was in G-Scale originally from 2000 to 2015. G-Scale was starting to disappear. Manufacturers went out of business, and a lot of trains just weren't coming out that I wanted. So I'm like, I was at the time, I'm like, I'm going to get back into air gauge because at least that has the trains that I want. But I wasn't sure. So I always wanted the 1987 Conrail limited set made by Lionel. But at the time it was made in 87, it was a $400 train set. In 1987, that was a lot of money. I couldn't afford it. So I remembered that. So in 2015, I'm like, okay, let me make sure I'm going to like doing this. So I found that set reasonably priced, and I thought, brand new in the box. I built a little 8x8 L-shaped layout, and I have the original video of that, by the way, on my YouTube channel. And I hand bent Gargrave's flex track curves into like a 48-inch diameter. So. And I ran it around. It's all conventional, using a Lionel TW transformer. I'm like, yeah, I can see me liking this again. I'm reliving my childhood. And then I posted pictures, and somebody's like, you should check out Going Remote. We think you'll like it. So I bought a Lionel TMCC SD70 Mac. And I ran that, got the cab one with the antenna remote because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it again. So I didn't want to buy the Legacy. I bought this remote. It was like $50, brand new, new old stock. Ran that around the track. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool to have something remote. So then after that, I bought a Lionel Legacy GP30 Conrail. That was my very first Legacy piece. And after that, I
Oh,
fell in love
nice.
with it. And then I knew right then and there I wanted to expand and get into O gauge. I got, I sold off my entire G scale collection. That took almost a year. By 2016, I was full force into O gauge. It wasn't until I started going back into the train shows full force, going to looking at O gauge layouts in 2016, 2017. I met the North Penn O gaugers and the independent high railers. Those two clubs right there is what got me sucked into doing high rail because I just loved the full scale sized O gauge trains, and I liked the prototypical look, the prototypical names, the prototypical paint scheme. It looked like they operated like a real train, only on a smaller scale. So that's about 2017 is when I decided to go head towards being high rail.
Cool. Well, speaking of that, we've got a question here from and if I'm saying this wrong, I apologize, but CS Toya is asking, do you guys make a distinction between high rail modeling and 3RS?
Three rail scale. That's what Hot Water he invented, or kind of popularized.
All right, so
3 rail scale is basically the 3 rail stuff. It's got the deep flanges, but it's got the Katy coupler, so you can also operate it with the with 2 rail rolling stock. When Hot Water was getting into O scale,
who's Hot Water?
He's a local. I'm not sure. He's kind of out of the hobby now, but he was the fireman of the fireman or engineer of the 4449.
Okay.
Back when it was the Freedom Train.
Okay.
And he helped MTH create the first Protosound 1 Daylight. And so basically he helped them create, the blueprints, make it what it was. And basically when they were finished, they sent him the 4449 and a loop of track. And so his wife was like, all right, just bring it upstairs. I don't care what you do in the second floor of the house. So he made this really cool train room, and he was an HO guy before, so he was all about scale. So that's what he did. He turned all his 3-rail train cars to Katy couplers, and that's basically 3-rail scale. And the high rail is scale, but it doesn't have the Katys. That's the difference between the two.
Gotcha. So North Country Trains is an HO guy and doesn't know knows very little about O gauge. Shawn, what's high rail?
So high rail is it's an O gauge layout that is that somebody owns or has or a club has, and on this high rail layout, of course, it's all O scale, meaning all the trains are true prototypical dimensions of 1/48 scale. So if I take an O scale car versus O gauge, an O scale car, and that's going to be to prototypical length in 1/48 dimensions. So high rail is all prototypical paint schemes, prototypical road names, and all true 1/48 scale. That's considered a high rail layout, and most high rail layouts will use either Gargraves track or Atlas O track or Ross track, and most of them usually start off around 072 curves because a lot of your scale stuff won't run on anything smaller especially if it's a steam locomotive.
Oh yeah. And the high rail seems to be more popular just because it's more universal among the 3-rail group. So you can go to a modular group and run your trains on, under the high rail standards. Where 3RS is basically, if you're mixing the 2-rail and 3-rail stuff, it's kind of hard to go to different clubs because you got to modify your layout to fit or to operate that stuff neatly. So what Hot Water did is he had to modify all his switches so the 2-rail stuff would go over them. I don't think I could do that, man. It was crazy. You have to Tim schooled me about all of this, but Yeah, that's it. I mean, the 3RS isn't really as popular as the high rail.
So you being a G gauge guy, got a question from EJ Plays 101. Does anybody have LGB layouts anymore?
Well, I mean, LGB is still around. They went bankrupt around 2011. And Markland bought them. There's still a presence of LGB, just not like it used to be in America. But there are still people still have layouts, that feature either LGB, USA Trains. USA Trains is still around. People still have Aristocraft, even though Aristocraft also went out of business back in 2010, 2011. So, I mean, people are still running it.
Wasn't Aristocraft like the live steam G skill stuff?
They only had one live steam locomotive that they made. Everything else was electric. But AccuCraft is a big manufacturer of G scale live stream.
Yeah, that's something I've always thought was really interesting, like the G scale live steam stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And Mr. Pictavid does G scale stuff, right?
Yeah, Mr. Pictavid, he's all G scale. And he's in a pretty popular G scale area where there's clubs around him that I mean not clubs but layouts around him where he can go. There's 2 clubs in his state that are pretty close to him. So I mean, for the large scale train or the large scale consolidated live show, I mean, I'm thinking he's got plans of maybe visiting 1 or 2 a month and doing a live stream from there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So, Metra says, can we link Shawn's channel? Yes. As a matter of fact, it's in the, I'll link it up here again, but it's in the description below if you want to see Dakman Production, his channel down there. So you got all kinds of neat merchandise there. Some merch, huh?
Yeah, I decided to give the merchandise another shot. I tried to put off a merchandise store featuring T-shirts in 2020, but it ended up being a total disaster. And so I shut it down, and I was sort of disappointed. But then I seen other channels going with Teespring, so I decided to go ahead and open up a Dakman apparel store through Teespring. And so far I've been pretty happy with them. Matter of fact, this is out of my store. This is a sample, and I just love how it came out. So I just like the products that they offer, and
yeah, they've got a lot of neat stuff there. So if anybody wants to purchase any of that Dakman Production swag over there, just head on over to the YouTube channel. The link's down below, and you've got that pushed out there. You got a video featuring that, and then it's probably it's where would they go on your page?
What was that? What was the question?
I'm sorry, I blacked out. If they were looking for some Dakman Production merch, where would they go on that?
I could probably send you a link, but I try to put something up every week on my Dakman Productions Facebook page. But I do have a link to the store.
Oh, okay, good. Is it on one of your videos? I know that you had a video where you kind of pushed out
the
information about that. So take a look at that video right out.
Matter of fact, on my videos in the past couple months, the link is in those videos descriptions.
Fantastic. So reading through here, there was one that I wanted to get Catnuts was saying, Shawn and George, I wanted you guys to talk. We touched on this a little bit the last week about MTH and Atlas. That's pretty cool, isn't it, guys?
I think it is. I think it's really cool.
Well, they just announced their recent or what they're going to put out, and it's a Madison car, or not a Madison, heavyweight.
Madison cars.
And they're I think they're doing that to go along with MTH's their Pacifics. They're out with some Pacifics, and that's why they're making those Madison cars. So
Correct.
that's kind of interesting, and I'm really excited to see how those turn out. We have a friend who's really big into Atlas um, passenger cars. He's got a lot of passenger cars and reefers, so I wonder if he'll pick those up. But yeah, I think that it's really cool to see Atlas starting to make their O-scale trains again.
I think it's a match made in heaven because it wouldn't take much to bring MTH rolling stock up to Atlas O standards. I mean, putting the rotating wheel bearing caps trucks on them would be a big help, and maybe applying some other details, and pretty much they'd be done. You know, Atlas O has been. I've been going with them more and more, and I've been holding off on other brands, but I've been focusing on Atlas O within the last couple months myself. Only
Yeah,
because they're reliable. You can put them in a train, not have to worry about them, uncoupling. They
or
got
like
weight in them, so they're not too light and flip over on their sides.
yeah, no, definitely. I think it's um Atlas is a real good company. I think I like their products, although we don't have a lot of it. The ones that the things that we do have by Atlas are really nice stuff. And I'm definitely excited to see the stuff that they're coming out with and with the old MTH toolings.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a change in production because George, I know you had a concern about how often they're going to come out with trains, but I think you're going to see a production change because
Hopefully we'll see those heavyweights in the next 20 years.
but Atlas is going to produce in the
Old MTH,
MTH
factory.
factory. So I think that's a big plus. Not only are they going to produce there, but Atlas is also going to take their Atlas molds from the old factory that doesn't want nothing to do with air gauge, basically, and bring them to the MTH factory. So not only will we not get to we'll get to see the MTH stuff, but now hopefully we'll get to see more of the regular AXO.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be really cool because I know they had some real nice stuff coming out before. They had those -9 or -8s, which were really cool. But yeah, that it definitely is going to see Atlas, or it's definitely going to be cool seeing Atlas become another big major manufacturer again.
Right, and I think they're with the MTH purchase. I think they're well on their way. I mean, they got the football now. They better run with it. Is all I can say.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was kind of neat is how they're kind of cross promoting each other right now with the announcement of those passenger cars. So,
Yeah.
George, how's that working out? Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
So basically, MTH has come out saying that they're going to make some Pacifics on their under the MTH brand as kind of the last hurrah per se, and they're making the Pacifics, and Atlas has acquired the tooling for the heavyweights, the Madison cars, I think, and or not Madison cars, the heavyweights. I think they're similar to the Madison cars, and those are supposed to go along with the Pacific, so they have different railroads kind of matching with the railroads that MTH is coming out with their Pacifics. So kind of they're just saying, hey, if you want the cars for these, go to Atlas, and Atlas is like, hey, if you want the engine for these, go to MTH. So yeah, it's really cool.
So yeah, I like that cross promotion bit, at least at the beginning, where Mike's Train House is still producing some stuff. They're still producing some stuff, and Atlas is kind of taking the reins over. So this is kind of a good transition, I thought.
Right, and with also Atlas has the license to sell the MTH DCS as well.
Oh yeah, which is going to be huge because the DCS system is amazing, and it'll definitely be interesting to see that kind of grow. And I wonder if there's going to be any other manufacturers that pick that up too, since Atlas has recently gotten the the DCS, you know, and that was MTH's big thing. And now that there's not really a major manufacturer to go around that, I wonder if there's going to be other like smaller companies that start to pick up the MTH or the DCS system instead of the old ERR stuff that Lionel was letting everybody use.
Yeah. Well, I would think it'll be interesting to see is if in the future is Atlas so, because all the Atlas so product was BTO or built to order. It was like in limited quantities, and where MTH seemed like they made thousands of these trains, but
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if they'll open up production more now that they have all this access, and more often than they had, because we're used to seeing something from MTH being announced every month, and so I'm sort of wondering, are we going to see that same thing from Atlas O, something new being announced every month?
Yeah, I think that's really cool how MTH used to do that too with their Instagram page. I follow their Instagram, and it used to be on my feed all the time.
What's Instagram, George?
Oh my gosh. We have an Instagram page.
What's that?
We have an Instagram page.
Oh, I don't think it's ever used though.
Yes, it is.
Did you put the last video on it?
Anyways.
I'm sorry. The GFW Trains Instagram page that forgets to promote its own brand.
Anyways. So yeah, and I mean it's definitely really cool. I hope they do that, because it will be I hope to see a more or bigger variety of Atlas stuff to get and purchase at train shows, because it's kind of a rarity nowadays.
Yeah, and Slagcat, Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad says, did Atlas announce anything yet? And just to get you back up to speed, yesterday, was it? Yesterday they announced that they're making some passenger cars, some heavyweight passenger cars, in combination with Mike's Train House, who's going to be making their last run of steam engines, and they're going to be matching sets. So Atlas is going to make the cars, and MTH is going to make the engines.
And EJ Plays has a question: have they made locomotives with actual steam coming from below yet? MTH did. I'm not sure if MTH did. I know Lionel did with their Vision Line products, and a lot of the newer legacy stuff has the steam features coming out of the steam chests and stuff like that. I'm not sure if MTH did. They might have. But Atlas doesn't make steam engines, so they if there's steam coming out of the diesel locomotives, then something's seriously wrong.
So one of the things that's coming up here again and again from Harrison over there at North Country Trains, he's saying, guys, I gotta see Shawn's train layouts. So are you mobile over there, Shawn? Can we take a look at your man cave there in the basement? I tell you what, when my basement grows up, it wants to be like Shawn's basement down there.
Give me 1 second here, and I'll try and enter with my phone here.
So, George, while he's looking up that, let's talk about real world trains.
Real world trains. Yeah, did you hear that?
There's some news coming out about
Canadian Pacific officially
they haven't bought it yet, have they? I think that they're going into discussions to buy.
Oh, really? I thought they bought it. But anyways, Canadian Pacific possibly could conquer North America.
And how are they going to do that, George?
They're going to buy KCS so they can go from Canada all the way to Mexico. And that'll be definitely interesting to see.
Mr. Pictovid says he wants a shirt that says, when my basement grows up, it wants to be like Shawn's basement.
So here we go. There is.
All right. So let me see. I got to get some not that one. We don't want those guys. There we go. That's what we want. Or this one, is that one? No, this is the one we want right there.
Yes, that's the one.
Cool. Cool. So this is the operation. Shawn, how big is this operation for people here that are just seeing this for the first time?
So we're looking at from that corner of the wall, and it goes through that room. You're looking at 40 feet long.
Wow.
And then at this point, right here, you're looking at 14-foot wide.
Wow.
So in just so we got a scale, a relative scale here, what radius are those turns that we're looking at right there?
Well, right now, currently, this is 072 and this is 054 on the inside. I've already bought track, and my newest update is going to be I bought 080. This is going to go from 072 to 080. I'm going to take the 072 and replace the 054 with it.
Oh,
And
wow.
this, yeah, so this final stage of my high rail improvement will allow me to run any train anywhere I want on my layout.
Interesting. So then, do you have any? Because I mean, the 072 looks pretty tight. Are you gonna have to like expand the layout out a little bit for the 080 to fit on there?
No, because I've actually built it with that in mind, so I can actually change it. And what you guys don't see is there is a bridge that goes across there. I have it removed right now, but so it doesn't need to make that tight turn. And then eventually, it'll be a dual mainline bridge that goes across there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really cool.
So it's not just the layout there in the basement. You're gonna have to give us like a quick 360 tour about the different parts of your train layout and the different parts of your basement, and how you got things set up.
All right, no problem. So I'll try and bring my mic. So, can you guys hear me okay? Because I got my mic with me.
Yep.
All right, cool. So what we have here is originally it goes around this horseshoe curve, the inside loop, and I'm eventually going to go across straight here. But this is all progress that I made last year. I painted the whole entire layout, put in meters. And I hold on here. Okay, I should be far enough.
Wow. Check that out.
And this is just one section.
Yeah, because you got the it goes into the other room too.
Yeah. Now originally, this was the L from not even from here, probably from where that shell splits to that corner, to that first strip, to that strip, and that was it. That's all I had originally.
Oh wow. Wow. This is really cool.
I wanted to set it up like I was going to a train show.
I love that.
I love train shows so much. So like I color coded my shells. Like my Lionel shells are all orange. And if I'll go in the next room. I call it my Atlas room. So these shells are all blue. This is all my Atlas O.
Gonna have to get some purple in there now, huh?
I got purple.
All right. In this room, you're gonna have to infiltrate. Or actually, the blue is gonna infiltrate the purple. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's funny. But this is, and it goes through another room yet. It goes into my shop area.
I love that. George covets having a train layout that goes from one room to the next like that.
Yes.
I actually covet that too. But I am shut down by my wife, and thus I am shut down. I shut down
So
George.
if I convince Mom to expand into Yaya's room.
Never gonna do it, George. You're never gonna
If
do
I'm
it.
able to convince her to, can we?
And the one
Yeah.
thing I've been working on is this switching yard. I got 2 more switches to put in, and I'll be good. But I did a switching video after the last update, and it was pretty popular.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's really cool the way you have it set up too.
It is. It is. So, what kind of industry did you say you had in that other room there?
Grain.
It is a grain yard facility. So just like in my town, I live in a town of farmers. South Jersey's all farmland. So the farmers here grow grain and soybean, and it actually goes to the grain goes to a Purdue facility, and the farmers truck it there. It gets dumped into silos, and the trains come along. The silo empties it into the train, and the train goes to Purdue Farms.
That is really cool. So how did when you have it go into your shop, is it just the 2 tracks, or do you have like a staging area in there?
No, I've been thinking of a staging area, but I haven't done that yet because I wanted to focus on completing the grain yard. I want to focus on updating the curves to 080 and 072. The next thing I'm going to do is I found out that Cargill has a corn syrup transfer facility, so I want to scratch build one for there.
Oh wow.
And then, of course, I got my crystal ice house over here. So everything in this layout on this side of it is all kits that I've built. Nothing over here is pre-built. Versus when I first started out, everything on this part of the layout is all pre-built, either MTH or Lionel structures.
Wow. That's really cool.
And this is just one layout thing.
Yeah, let's see the NPC layout. There you go. Wow. So then, and then you got your, what's on the table right next to you? To your left or right? You're right. Wow, check that out. That's really neat. So then there's your, there's his MTH wall pops.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my original 1976 Lionel train set.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got that as a kid.
That's really neat.
And
Hold on,
everything.
It's the one on
but which one is it? I remember seeing it, but I can't remember which exactly one that is Shawn. Nice. I love it. We got one almost similar to that as our first train too. It was a nickel plate. The Wabash Cannonball.
Nice. Check that out. That is so cool.
So as you can see, I want to keep the 2 things separate. I wanted to have a high rail, and I also wanted a traditional. The traditional is just that. It uses a tubular track. It's all MPC aero trains, and it uses old school transformers.
That's really cool.
And then, as you can see, there's my MTH right there. And the shells are perfect.
People are saying you're going to have to be painting that blue soon.
Wow. That is really neat.
But I wanted to come down. I wanted my basement to be like, I was visiting a train show because, like I said, I loved them so much.
That is the Dackman Productions dealer layout.
You ever rip yourself off when you sell yourself a train?
But
Man,
the color scheme of the blue and the orange that I came up with here, when I went to the World's Greatest Hobby and I visited Lionel Display, they had this blue and orange tower. And I just loved the color combination. They had trains running in circles on it. And I knew that was the colors that I needed for this one.
That's really cool.
yeah, that's neat. That's neat. Now, how big is that one?
This one is 16 by 4.
Oh wow, so that's really long.
Yeah.
So long and relatively skinny. So that's probably got like 031 curves on there, huh?
Yes, correct. It's got 031 curves. I think I got 042 on here. So I got 042 on the outside and 036 on the inside. And of course, it has a elevated figure eight because I thought it'd be kind of cool just to do an elevated figure eight.
Yeah, that does look really nice.
Wow. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but you can see it's right here.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And you run mainly NPC stuff on there, right?
Yeah, this is all NPC stuff from my childhood. So yeah, that's all NPC.
That's really
so
cool.
I just don't want people thinking that I'm just a high railer. I do enjoy, the traditional and semi scale because I started originally with the 027.
Yeah, wow.
So in North Country Trains is always keeping me on task there. He's asking, what is MPC Trains?
MPC is an era of Lionel Trains from 1971 to about 1986 because at one time Lionel was actually owned by Fundimensions, which was actually a division of MPC model kits, and I think I actually have. Yes, I do. So they were actually owned at one time by MPC model kits. That was a time period where kids would build model kits or run trains and such. But
so they generally call that the MPC era because the trains were built in a certain way during that period and owned by that company, right?
Yeah, it was like kind of weird because it was actually licensed under Fundimensions, which was a division of MPC. So you would see either Fundimensions stamped on the box or MPC stamped on the box, but it was just like a weird time period.
So, and then the next question, the follow-up to that is, General Mills owned NPC, so that's all the same era, right?
Yeah, it's all the same thing. It was all either licensed under General Mills, Fundimensions, or NPC.
I didn't know that, actually.
Really?
I knew that they were owned by, like, NPC, but I didn't know that they were, like, a hobby kind of...
No, as a matter of fact, it's kind of different than that, George. It was General Mills, the cereal company.
Oh, really?
Yes. Correct. Yes, that's true.
General Mills, the cereal company, owned MPC.
Yep.
Interesting.
So the umbrella company was General Mills, and part of the General Mills portfolio was MPC, and part of the MPC portfolio was Lionel Trains.
Bro, what? That's a lot of that's a lot to take in.
So
yeah.
And then here's one of my favorite parts about this. So General Mills is a cereal company, right? They own Lionel Trains. They acquire Lionel Trains. And so cereals, they don't really do it too much anymore, but cereals used to have all kinds of promotions where if you ate 10 boxes of cereal and you saved the little thing on the boxes of cereal and you sent it in, you'd get a prize. You'd get a model or you'd get something as a surprise or a prize for eating the cereal. So when General Mills came along, they tried that concept with trains.
Really?
Yes. So they, if you bought a train, they'd give you a little coupon on the box of the train. And if you bought 3 boxes or boxcars or passenger cars or whatever, you'd send in the coupon and you'd get a free train.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, because like all the hold on. Don't we have a couple of cars that have those coupons on them?
We do, but I don't think that there are any down there. They'd be in red boxes, George.
Oh.
In fact, we have one of the cars that they gave
Really?
away if you sent in a coupon for it, George.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Well, actually, I did know that, but I didn't know it was like I didn't know they got that from the cereal boxes. That's really cool.
Yeah. So Kathy's wondering what your favorite train is there, Shawn.
Oh well, people know me as the Conrail person, but by far my favorite one on here is the SD80 Mac in the Conrail. You just gotta love the Conrail Cadillacs.
Yeah.
Because that's what the engineer nicknamed the SD80 Max. For those who are not familiar, in real life, the engineers nicknamed the SD80 Max the Cadillac because they rode so nice.
Ooh, the Cadillac! I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that was the last locomotive that Conrail would purchase, I believe. I'm not sure if that was the last or if the SD80 came before the SD70 Mac. I'm not sure which one was last, but one of those two were the last ones.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, Conrail's a really cool railroad. I love the blue. That's my favorite part about it. And Norfolk Southern later down the road. But yeah, check out the wall.
So through the eyes of youth, right? When I was young, I didn't necessarily like Conrail.
Why?
Because Conrail gobbled up like a bunch of the train companies that I knew of at the time. They all, consolidated. And when I was young, it was one of the first ones that I remember as being a consolidated. Now it's commonplace, but that they, consolidated that they picked from.
Oh yeah, there's that's the other cool part about your layout too, is because you got all the post-its right next to each scene, right, from the movies.
Yeah. So what I've done is I got into doing Hollywood cars on my layout, and then I found visitors really didn't know or recognize these scenes. So I got the idea of doing these cards next to the scene, and as you can see, we have the Dodge Charger being chased by Steve McQueen in from the movie Bullet, and the card just sort of gives you the name of the movie, what the scene's about, and what year it was made. The most famous, or not the famous, but the most liked scene on my layout is the Christine one, and I'll show you that.
So to answer this question from Humanity Junction, it says, I have the case closed car, which is shredded paper, and it from Lionel. That someone said that was when MTH and Lionel lawsuit ended. Is that true?
Yeah.
I can 100% confirm that.
We got that car. It's on the layout, actually. Did you get this brand new? Did you order this one?
Yeah. That's part of the lawsuit. If you put that all back together, my name's in there.
Yeah, if you put each shred of paper in there.
Right. You start taping those back together, you'll see my name on there.
Yeah, we're not getting too much into what happened. Yeah, pretty much Lionel.
Basically, Lionel copied MTH and
allegedly,
yeah, that's right.
it was settled. No, yeah, it was settled.
But then, so from what I hear, Sid from Sid's Trains tells me that Lionel got all that money back because they sued MTH about their smoke units.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, which was interesting, although that one isn't as big as just copying entire engines.
Yeah, Golden Leaf, you're right. I need a General Lee, but unfortunately, due to politics and stuff, and not to get into it on the show, but they stopped doing General Lee stuff because of the flag. So you can't can't buy the die-cast cars anymore because they don't make them.
Yeah, because I remember I used to be in the slot cars, and finding a General Lee in the slot cars is really hard. I got two though. That's one of my favorites.
I came home in a Charger, George. I was born, and I was taken home
In the General Grant.
in a blue 1968 Charger that when I was growing up, we lovingly called the General Grant. Being from the north, of course. Oh, gosh.
That's funny.
So there was Kathy's asking if you have any Norfolk Southern or CSX engines.
Yeah, actually, I got I dived into doing a before Conrail and then after Conrail. So I have I got a Penn Central train.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I have a Norfolk Southern and CSX train. I did both since they split. And I wish that either Lionel or MTH did a Conrail consolidated or Conrail shared assets train or locomotive before, they quit having their own trains. But because Conrail actually still exists as Conrail shared assets. But here, I'll show you my CSX or Norfolk Southern.
I think one of my favorite eras oh yeah, wow. One of my favorite eras of railroading was early CSX and then the switch between Conrail and Norfolk Southern. That's like my favorite era because you'd see Conrail stuff with like the Chessie logo.
Now that I agree. When I said that I didn't like Conrail, that was back from the eyes of youth. As I've grown older, that's one that I really, really like.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I loved the Penn Central too, because the Pennsylvania Railroad I liked, and the Pennsylvania Railroad wasn't around anymore, but the Penn Central was.
The Penn Central.
So again, through the eyes of youth, George.
You see, I knew about the Penn Central, but I first kind of learned about how bad it was when I went to the 2008 TCA convention, and I was down there with the New Jersey Train Masters, and they had a modular group there with a bunch of youth. Or it was the modular group was youth led, and all those kids, they set up a HO layout too on the modules. And at one point we ran out of straight, so we started making everything curves, and we called that the Penn Central subdivision.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. As I got older and wiser, I grew a sweet, sweet mustache. Yes. So, my sister says my sister lives out in Utah at Zion National Park, Shawn. They filmed a movie out there right by her. It was a really old B movie called The Car. Do you remember that at all?
Oh, yeah. I remember The Car.
Yeah, they filmed that right by where she lives. We're going to be on the lookout for some something that fills in that Cars movie segment.
And we're going to
send that. And we're going to send that to you. Yeah. Well, it's kind of a horror, like a suspense B horror movie. Train Finder Craig with the super sticker. Thank you there, Train Finder. Appreciate that. George is going to sing you a song now. Isn't that the rule, George? Every time you get a.
Oh, that was just for the one stream.
Every stream, he's supporting George Warderick.
You got to sing. It's your turn.
George got his braces off. His smile looks good. There it is. I'm not doing my day job because I'm not a singer. Not bad, huh?
There you go.
I'm sorry I had to put you through that there, Shawn. Shawn, do you have a Sanford and Son truck?
Yeah, actually, I do in the next room. It's on the forum.
Nice. Chris Lambert says he wants a neighbor like Shawn.
I want a neighbor like Shawn.
How about it?
Hey, I mean, if people live near me, I do invite people to run on my layout. I have had visitors before the COVID shutdown that ran here, either on the traditional or the high rail.
You know, the only problem with inviting George over is if George and I came over, George would show up with a sledgehammer, want to start tearing down some walls. Hey, can we go into this room? Can we go over here?
Wouldn't that be really cool? Like combining both the houses and then having the train layout like connect.
George, we got two more super stickers here, George. Now it's your turn to sing.
She'll be coming around the mountain. Here she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. Here she
Come
comes.
on, you got to get into it, George.
She'll be coming around the mountain.
George is like, oh man, my friends are watching this. I'm gonna be a bee. Sing it, George. Belt it out.
I did. I saw it.
When she comes. What's she gonna be driving, George?
Big boy.
She'll be driving a big boy when she comes. All right. There
But
you
like
go.
I said, I never originally intended for this to be, part of my channel because I wanted to do, show off what other people were doing. I mean, I just so happened started to focus on this, and I guess people are just, starting to realize, some of the stuff that I've done. Because I've always been asked at shows, do you own an O-gauge or do you have a layout of your own? And, I'd be like, yeah, I just don't focus on it. But, just within, the COVID shutdown, I've been doing a lot of work. So,
yeah, one thing I like about your layout too is you have a mixture of like the operating stuff, but then you also left room for the scenic like houses and stuff like that. If that were me, that area, that neighborhood that you have right there that you're showing, that would be like filled with like tracks at each little nick and corner. I mean, it's I have a real big problem with that.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I have had suggestions. You should make that a yard and this and that, but I wanted to have a train that would go around around a suburban area, then eventually get into more industrialized, and finally going into a different part of the community where it was going into a grain facility.
Yeah, because I mean that the part behind us where the yard is right now, that was supposed to be like kind of what that is right there. And I wanted a yard on the layout, so that's how that ended up.
Hey George, I'm getting some feedback here, and especially I'm getting it from Tim's Train saying that my hair is better than your mullet, dude.
Okay, thanks.
But at a serious note, wait a second. No, hold on. Wally's beard is going bye-bye on the next 24-hour stream.
Next 24-hour stream? Dude, I promised myself I'd never do. Oh, no. Thank you. Okay, now I got to sing. Is that what it is?
What's that?
I got to sing. We got a super sticker.
Super sticker started George singing.
All right. What song should I sing?
I'm a little teapot.
Wait, what about the Monon song?
Oh, up and down the Monon. Up and down the Monon.
And then there's like a bunch of like really old like trumpet sounds. Yeah, there you go.
You got to do better than that, George. It's a great big rolling railroad that everybody knows. We're born from the spike of gold. We're the Union Pacific, and our story's just begun. Oh, I'm not doing that.
Sing.
George has this beautiful mullet. It helps him keep the girls away. Oh, as his father, it makes me happy, and I say yay. Okay, karaoke hour. All right. Back on task. Stu, this beard is safe, man. Train collectors are too busy spending their money on trades.
That's right.
Spending their money on trains.
Except for Train Finder Craig.
So, Kathy, thanks for hanging out with us today. She's going to be heading on out. We'll see you around the roundhouse.
Adios.
I lost my track in all of this singing here. I got into the song, dude. Into the song. I'm told I got to stick with my day job. Your Honor, please let my client out of jail. Oh, that's good. Grandpa says he wants to hear Up and Down the Monon. Everything's real fine, and she's a real Hoosier lie. Grandpa knows all about the Monon.
Oh, yeah. Loves it. Actually, I like the Monon too. The Monon's a great railroad. My favorite person, or one of my favorites personally. But yeah, yes.
Shawn's sitting there like, oh my God, what I got myself into tonight. Oh gosh. Yeah.
The Southern Pacific song is better than the UP song. I like. Okay, my favorite song is the N&W song. I forget the
Really?
lyrics
There's
of
a
it.
north of
No, I think it's the N&W song. Let me look it up. But it's like I think it's the same as the.
Oh, I wanted to do one on Norfolk and Southern. Norfolk Southern, what's your function?
Yeah, no, the N&W song is different. And the Norfolk and Southern ones.
Don't worry, Shawn. We didn't pay the high price to get you to sing. Next time you're on, we'll pay you the feature singing prices to get you on. Oh gosh. George's favorite song is "I Came In Like a Wrecking Ball."
Why?
Because it's Miley Cyrus. You look like Miley Cyrus.
No, I don't.
Your hair's the same.
Wow. Oh.
Doesn't she have short hair?
You guys both have beautiful smiles. Braces
Wait,
smiles.
the N&W Railway intro. Oh wait, Cargo Moving People. That's the name of the song.
Cargo moving people.
Yeah.
Train Finder Craig keeps putting up that super sticker.
We're cargo moving people.
Yes.
We do it every day. We move the freight this country
Which one is that?
like coal.
Oh, this is Norfolk Western. I love this.
Yeah, sounds like Johnny Cash.
I like that. Thank you, Stu's putting up some money so I don't sing.
I'm for the non-singing.
Ooh, how about that Wabash Cannonball, George?
Oh shoot!
Listen to the rumble.
Wait, that was on that Grandma and Grandpa. Whenever we went over there, they had this cassette that had that song on it, and Grandma would play it all the time. Yeah.
Oh my! So all right, so let's get back. That was always one of my favorite ones that you got right out there. That red, white, and blue one's the Preamble Express, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people aren't aware about the history behind Preamble Express. That's actually a real name that actually happened. Preamble.
Okay, yeah, good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So the Preamble Express was actually the train that they used to map out the route for the Freedom Train. So the engineers and people would get on this train and map out the route. The people who were actually funding this project, and they used two different locomotives. They never used the F3 like Lionel did here. I think they did an E8 and a U-boat. Were the original two locomotives. And if you look in the Lionel catalog, new one, the 2021, they just came out with that Preamble Express train really did happen. And I think one of the presidents got inaugurated off the back of the Preamble Express.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a unique history behind this short-lived train.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I knew about the Preamble Express and about how they sent it out to kind of plan out the route for it, and I did remember that they were F units. I couldn't remember an F unit. I couldn't remember what it was, but that was just based upon foggy memory. If it was an F, and it was probably just based on the fact that Lionel made an F unit out of it.
Yeah, I think that originally was really an E unit, but don't quote me on that because
I thought it was a PA. I thought it was a PA.
No, I know it wasn't a PA.
No, definitely not.
And I think you're right, though, Shawn. I think that my memory is just based on the fact that Lionel made an F3 out of it as opposed to what it really was.
Yeah. And unfortunately, in the MPC era, because that's what that is, they never made the cars to go with that. So it was just the locomotive. But like I said, they finally made the entire set in the 2021 catalog. And it looks like a beautiful set, but like I said, it's a very, very short-lived train. It wasn't around long.
Yeah, I always like those red, white, and blue trains.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for red, white, and blue trains myself.
Yes, yes. Especially the Freedom Train. The 4449 as a Freedom Train's got to be one of the coolest engines ever, hands down. But yeah. Then that whole story with the Freedom Train is amazing too. Like with 2101, how they did that in like 30 days.
So what is the tell me the story, Georgia? Tell the people that might not be familiar with the story about
So
it.
basically, when they were trying to plan out the Freedom Train, they had chose to restore 4449 to pull the train across America. Well, when it came time to actually run the engine or run the train, the people who are restoring the 4449 weren't going to get it done in time. So what they did is the guy who was running the whole thing, he went and was looking for a steam engine, or they were gonna start the.
It's Ross Rowland, right?
Yeah, Ross Rowland, and they were gonna start the train off with just some diesels, and he's like, "No, this has to be run by a steam engine." So they went to a scrapyard, or I think they had been looking around. They went to a scrapyard and they found two T1s, and they used one for parts and then the other one to restore, and they did it all in 30 days.
So they were working on the 4449, weren't able to get that done in time. So they wanted to start with a steam engine. Russ Rowland wanted it, so he said, "All right, let's restore this one out east." And if I remember correctly, the 4449 they also were having some difficulty with that one because it couldn't make it through the tunnels and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Out east.
I didn't know.
So that was kind of the other double-edged sword about the 2101, or the number 1 as it was called on the Freedom Train.
That's really cool. Yeah, but apparently, and then when they were painting it, I think they had a red stripe on it, and when they were painting it inside, they brought it out, and it was like orange. But yeah, that's the story of the Freedom Train. There's a really good documentary on YouTube. I forget the name of it, but if you look it up, it's really easy to find. But yeah.
So yeah, and
there's a guy at the North Penn O-Gaugers Club who has a complete Freedom Train with both locomotives and O-Gauge. And I actually got to shoot video of it, and there's cars that actually talk about the history that George just did. There's cars that tell you, that go through the motions of what's in car number 1, number 2, number 3, all the artifacts. And I got a lot of that on video. And the guy did a double head. He used the T1 and the other one, and double headed the American Freedom Train on the layout. That was cool too.
Oh, I bet. So speaking of bicentennial trains, Alaska 3 Railroad is on here, and he has a video of a custom-made Alaska bicentennial train.
The Alaska bicentennial F units are amazing.
Yes, they are. They're really cool. They're let's see here.
Humanity is asking, does Dackman have a Conrail GG1?
No, I do not.
Do we have a Conrail GG1?
We don't have a Conrail.
Grandpa's got one, right?
Nope.
Oh, he's got the Penn Central one.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes. And then we've got just the Pensy ones.
But I do own a MPC era GG1. I own a Penn Central one.
Oh, yeah.
That one's a good one.
Yeah.
Definitely a good one.
Strong runner too.
Oh yeah, that one's got 2 motors in it.
Two
right?
motors.
Yeah.
2 moters. So Metro Rail Friend and Guy 402 wants to know what's your favorite 484 Northern, George?
4449. Right. Wait. Right there. That guy. That's my favorite.
Dang, that's a tough one because you got 4449, you got 844.
See, I like 844 a lot, but it's bland. It's a cool excursion star, but it's black. Where the 4449 is all colorful. Is that a good?
Sure. How about you, Shawn? What's? You're not a steam engine guy though, right? You're mostly diesels.
Yeah, I stuck to the diesel locomotive because I'm a diesel mechanic, so that's why. So I always like the diesel locomotives were always my. But I did finally, and I'll spill the beans here, order Conahey Rail's first ever steam locomotive out of the new catalog.
Oh my gosh! Allegedly. I won't believe it until I see it. So, so tell me which one did you order here?
So I ended up ordering the Lionel Legacy Central Railroad of New Jersey Camelback because my town has a lot of railroad history. And it was actually one of the top 10 most industrialized towns at one time, and I'm going back to the 50s. But there was an actual there's photos that I've seen because I wasn't obviously around for that, but there was actually a Central River of New Jersey Camelback that pulled a passenger train into my town and then looped around the train station that picked up people and then went back out again.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So now the railroad, and that's your last name, and that's the name of your railroad, right? Conahey Rail. And
Conahey Rail, yes. I use my last name. And so the plan is for the CNJ train that I'm getting, or the locomotive, is I want to find the MTH Premier Jersey Madison cars in green, and then I'm going to run an excursion train with it.
That's good. That's cool. Yeah.
So that was a confusing thing for me. Shawn, did you donate the money for that new station in New York City? Isn't it Conahey Station or something like that? No, right across from Penn Station. No, I must be going crazy here. Help me out. I need somebody from New York to help me out. What's the new Amtrak? Or I think it's Amtrak, but the new station that they just opened up across from Penn Station there. So, Train Finder Craig says, "Hey guys, I might have asked this, but could you please send Deckman Productions my contact info? We'll send that along for sure." Train Finder Craig is starting up a YouTube network, Train Finder Network. He was ahead of his time in the railroading online hobby, and started up a series of Train Finder YouTube or web pages. So he's starting that back up again, and he's looking for some content. So I'll pass that along for you. Okay, it's Moynihan Train Hall. Heath is correcting. It's Moynihan Train Hall. So it's not quite the right spelling. See, I thought you donated all this money and had a train hall named after you. Ooh, that's another Northern, George. What about the Norfolk and Western 611?
4449. I like the 611. I would like to get one in the future because we have the Potawatomi. I think that's what it's called. Or
the what?
Never mind. No, it's the
Powhatan Arrow.
Yeah. And we have the passenger cars, and we always ran them with the 1218. So it would be really cool to get one to run with our or a 611 to run with that train. But yeah, I did. I'm still sticking strong with the 4449. See, it wasn't really one, like, if you were to ask me a year ago, I wouldn't have said the 4449 because I used to think it was like overrated until we actually got one, and now it's just like, oh yeah, I can understand why it's so widely loved amongst many people. But yeah. Does anybody remember the moving sidewalk inside passenger cars so you could see pieces of American history?
He's talking about the American Freedom Train. They actually had a moving conveyor belt. You just stood on the belt and it would just take you through the car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so to take it in the Freedom Train, it had all kinds of things from the Moon Rover all the way to the World Series trophy. And it had all kinds of pieces of Americana. The Liberty Bell was on there, and they took it all over the United States. So they took, in 1976, for the bicentennial, George, they took these pieces of American history. And that was the whole purpose of the Freedom Train.
How?
They took the pieces of American history and took it all around the nation so people could see them.
So how much security do you think was like needed for that train? Because
It was a different time period back then. It's not like
Right.
it is now.
Nah, you're right. You're right. Because that right now you'd need like all that stuff on there is like or probably that was on there is probably like priceless. You know. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
replace it.
And when you think of the concept, isn't that a neat concept?
I wish they'd do it again.
Yeah, but I'm afraid that would be something that would never happen again.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely something that would be really cool to see, again. But yeah, definitely.
And then the other thing that I think is really cool is at the time the United States wanted to do these things to celebrate the bicentennial, and Russ Rowland actually came up with the idea, and I think it's really neat. He says, "All right, let's restore a steam locomotive," and at that point, the 4449 George was a static display piece
Because it was black.
It wasn't running.
Or not the black bonnet paint scheme. And they restored it, and then because he got the idea from the American Railroads excursion with the 759. That's where he got the idea for the Freedom Train, which I think is really cool. The American Railroads is kind of one of those like underrated excursion trains. The American Railroads excursion, because like there's no models of, I mean, there's models of it, but they're not that popular. I think I know of like 3 on YouTube, and one of them is Johnny's, you know. But yeah, I think I had no clue what it was till.
So what is it?
The American Railroads excursion train. So basically, the American Railroads excursion train was a excursion train that happened in, I think, 1969 or something like that. Some year I think it was like the late 60s, early 70s, and it was to celebrate the railroads 100 years of being around in America. And so that's what I think like 100 years or something like that. And that's basically the excursion. It was very similar to the American Freedom Train, the same concepts, but it was for railroads.
Yeah. Alaska 3 Railroad saying it was when I was a wee lad, went to visit a family in Pennsylvania in 1976. We actually got to see the Freedom Train at 8 years old. I wish I could remember more about it. I do remember the Liberty Bell. That's pretty neat.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, and you got to see the Chessie Steam special, right?
I did. So it was the T1 was pulling it. The 2101 was pulling that. The Chessie Steam special when I saw it. It came through Lansing, Michigan. That's where I saw that.
And that was so close to becoming a Conrail train.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the story on that?
Well, the Chessie special, as everybody knows, 2101, as you mentioned, there was talks and actual drawings made up, a proposal that they were going to repaint the Chessie special into Conrail. And so there was actually drawings of the locomotive and tender, and there's also drawings of the passenger car, which I provided that to Nick over at PGH Train Fanatics because he did he needed my help on doing a review on the Lionel Conrail T1 version. But unfortunately, 2101 was put in a roundhouse, and the roundhouse caught on fire and badly damaged 2101 to the point where it wasn't worth doing a Conrail train anymore at that point. So it was something that almost really happened. It wasn't total fantasy what Lionel did. Yeah. And I'm hoping that they do the passenger cars to go with it, because the blue Conrail passenger cars in those drawings, which I do have a photo of both the locomotive drawing and the passenger car drawing, they were really cool.
Oh yeah, I bet. And didn't Lionel do the Conrail business train?
Yeah, which was green. Now, some people don't know that originally the Conrail OCS or business train, the locomotive that originally pulled it was actually blue and not green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the E unit that originally pulled it was blue, and then eventually, it went over to a green locomotive.
Oh, that's cool. Really cool. Because I know Max Railroad has that set, and that one's always been a cool set to see.
Yeah, it is a neat set.
Yes. So, oh gosh, I forgot. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Blanked out, huh?
Yeah, blanked out. I had a question though. It's about Oh yeah. Okay, so didn't I'm not sure if you guys, but wasn't there like experiments with going back to steam, like steam power,
Oh yeah,
with
that's
the
true.
chassis steam special too?
Gosh, yeah, Russ Rowland did that too.
Because
And-
wasn't it like when like diesel was starting to like become harder to get?
No, during the gas crisis,
Yep.
the Russ Rowland had an idea where they were going to use a different type of technology to try and power steam through coal again because the fuel prices got to be so high. And I forget all of the specs about that. I should look into that, and we can talk about it another time. If you don't, I don't know if you know anything about it, Shawn. Yeah, it's the ACE 3000.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then they used or they were planning on using, or they used the CNO 614. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Greenbrier. But yeah, that's always been something cool, like what if
Right.
kind of thing. Yes. Russ Rowland, man, full of ideas. And then he went bankrupt.
Yeah, that was actually a terrible era for cars in America because then they started because gas prices went through the roof, but in the 80s, gas prices went through the roof, but diesel was cheap, and that's when they tried to make diesel engines for cars, and that was a whole different story. It didn't go well.
Yeah, isn't Volkswagen, weren't they big into that, like
No.
making diesel engines for cars?
But I don't know about the very beginning, but they later on I think that they made a lot of more of the they kind of spearheaded performance diesels as opposed to, and Shawn could definitely fill in the blanks there a lot better than I can. But yeah, to my knowledge, this is just from a passive viewing standpoint, that they were more into like high performance as opposed to big diesels that were used for trucks or something like that.
Yeah, but for car wise, I mean, Volkswagen in the 80s was ahead of their time because it came out with the Rabbit, and that was diesel powered, and that ended up actually being a half decent engine.
Yeah. We had a diesel when I was growing up. It was the diesel Oldsmobile.
Oh, they were junk.
It was the biggest piece of. The only good thing about that is my mom and dad could rest easy because when their son was driving the diesel station wagon with all his friends, we couldn't get that thing up past 50 miles per hour. It wasn't going any faster than that.
Yeah, that made a lot of bad press with GM. That Oldsmobile diesel. That was bad.
It did. Well, yeah, the good old gas crisis. I hope that you never have to live through a gas crisis, George.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
It's going to be, the one that you lived through is going to be like a Mad Max gas crisis.
Yeah. Well, just remember, I'll drive the tanker for you.
All right.
We'll have the convoy.
I know where something that can pull that thing. Yep. That's great. George will throw the boomerang.
No, I'll play the guitar. I'll play the guitar.
Oh, you're thinking of the new one. Yeah, we're talking about the old one with the tanker. Well, actually, they have a tanker in both of them. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking of Mad Max driving the tanker with the little boy with the boomerang.
Oh,
yeah. That was Road Warrior. That was my favorite one.
Road Warrior. Mine too.
Yeah. Love the Road Warrior. I would give anything to have that truck.
Oh, right. Yeah. Or the Mad Max car. I love that thing.
What kind of car was it?
What's that?
What kind of car was it?
It's a
Ford Falcon.
There we go. Ford Falcon. But they didn't. That wasn't a produced car over here. It was something that was specific to
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was only made in Australia. It was a Ford Falcon.
Wow. Okay. Ford Falcon. Huh. Why would they make that just in Australia, or was it?
Oh, Ford. Actually, all of the companies do that, where they have cars that are made specific for different
Yep.
areas of the world. You'd be
Yep.
surprised when you go to Europe or if you go to Australia. I've never been to Asia, but I bet you it's the same way, that they have, you know, car companies that you're familiar with, but the
Cars you've never heard
the
of.
cars are cars that you've never heard of in designs that you've never seen.
That's cool. Interesting.
Right.
So is the Falcon like a muscle car then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, it had the Ford Falcon had a 351 Ford Cleveland engine in it, so
Oh yeah.
it was pretty peppy for itself.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Really cool, actually.
Good old Mad Max.
I don't
Last of the supercars.
I don't want to live through that. That scares me.
George doesn't like Mad Max because he thinks that that's how the world's going to turn out.
Oh yeah, I don't dislike Mad Max, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, this could be a possibility.
Nice. Well, hey, I got to remind everybody here, if you could do me a favor, if you could smash that like button, if you're just rolling through here, that really helps us out with the algorithm. It's something that'll make this live stream get pushed out to everybody else. Shawn, we're about ready to hit the 2 hour mark here. We're having somebody saying that I should take George on a trip to Europe to learn about cars.
Not cars, trains. I
So
want to ride the Eurostar.
Well, I tell you what, I got a good idea on this, George. I got a good idea. I'll be glad to take George to Europe. Be glad to take George, but we got to earn the money to do that, and we can earn the money by George singing for super chats. He's gonna brush up. Don't worry, he's gonna brush up on his train songs. I've got a few tapes. Listen to little Johnny Cash. We can watch some of those I Love Toy Train videos. They got some of those. I choose you.
No.
I have no idea, George.
Heath just said he bought 2 more O-Gauge cars during our live stream.
Heath, come on in. The water's nice. Come on in. We're gonna have to hook you up with the Mecca TCA. This actually has got me really excited about that. I would really, really love it. I hope that you guys get a chance to go out there to see that TCA meet. I'll send Stu's information to you, and I'll send Stu your information so that you guys can hook up. That's a really neat group. I'm not sure how big their meets usually are, but even if you just connect up with that group of people, I think you would enjoy it. They're a bunch of fun guys, and again, just say a network of people, and that's one of the things I love about the Train Collectors Association, don't you, George?
Oh yes.
Some of my best friends that I've got are friends through the Train Collectors Association. Bill Cabernis, we had him on here a couple weeks ago. We met through the Train Collectors Association. He's one of my best friends. The originator of the train races. They're at least the world famous Midwest Division train races.
Oh yes.
So look at that, George. $5 from Mr. Pictovit, almost to Europe.
There you go. $5. $5 richer.
Rick R brings up a good one, probably one of my favorites too. The semi from the Smokey and the Bandit movie.
Oh yeah.
He's pounding down, baby.
Yeah.
He's pounding down.
Yeah. Old 78 K-Whopper.
See, he knows all that. That's good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Hawkins says, I need to take you to the Tallyland Railway. Isaiah, you're going to have to tell me where that one's at. So Humanity says, will I be able to get some cheap track at the Metka meet? Is it like a regular train show? I want some O-scale tubular track. So Heath, Stu can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I would imagine that the meet that they're going to have in April is going to be more of a swap meet rather than a train show. So they'll probably be buying and selling trains there, and maybe something. And I guarantee everybody's going to be chomping at the bit to get out there and see that stuff. But that would be a really good place. Hopefully, fingers crossed, to have lots of track that you can buy and transformers, everything like that. That would be a really good spot to do that.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited because, like I said, I've heard of Mecca, but I've never actually been to a meet or invited to one. So this sounds like, pretty cool.
Yeah, not only that, but you get invited by the president. Look at that.
Yeah, big deal, man.
Deckman Productions. Come on in. Humanity,
All right.
come on in. No, that'll be great. And actually, what
Yeah.
I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Stu about videotaping a steel cage match, Thunderdome type of match. Since we're on the Mad Max here, we're going to have the fight Heath from Humanity Junction versus Shawn from Deckman Productions.
Who can buy
Two men enter, one man leave. Who can buy the most trades?
who can be broke before the other?
Yes. So listen, I tell you what, we're cruising along here. We're about 2 hours in. It's probably a good time to get George to sleep so he can get his beauty rest. Now that he's got that beautiful smile, let me see that. Two big boys right there, man. Two big boys.
I would rather have crazy teeth. I'd rather have the two big boys than crazy teeth.
Good old Snaggletooth George. So anyway, Shawn, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really enjoyed having you on here. And you know what? I tell you what, it's really an honor to have you because I think of you as being one of the stalwarts of not only the hobby, but also a stalwart of the YouTube community. So it's been great having you on. I really appreciate you coming on.
And thank you for having me on this show. It's been fun and it's been great.
Cool. And I hope that we can have you on again sometime in the near future. I think that we've had fun having some different people on the last couple of times that we've had out here. Now, George and I, we're going to be out of town for everybody who's watching. George and I are going to be out of town next Friday. I'm not sure what we're going to do, if it's going to be something where we're going to be able to if we're going to be able to do something from where we're at, or if we're going to hook into somebody who is going to be doing the stream for us, or if we're just going to be taking a week off. So keep your eyes peeled for an update on GFW trains. And then the following week, not this Friday, but the following Friday, we're going to have Chris Rains from RBP Trains on.
Oh.
And yeah. And if you haven't seen Chris's YouTube channel, it's a neat channel that he's started up. He's got a really cool layout and a really energetic guy from the hobby, and it's going to be a pleasure to have him on. So take a look for next Friday for GFW Trains, but for sure, write down the 2 Fridays from now when Chris is going to be on GFW Trains. It's going to be a neat show, and we can't wait to have him on. Although he does have some big shoes to fill coming in after Deckman here. So, yeah. And once again, guys, I just have to say it's my speech. It's always really humbling to get on here and to see how many people are on and communicating in this little corner of the YouTube community in our model train hobby. So please, let's keep that rolling. Let's watch each other's channel. Let's support each other, communicate. We've got a really neat dialogue, and it's neat that we're able to bring the talk, the chatter, the outside of this vacuum, and we're able to do it amongst ourselves. So keep that up, guys. I love it. Just a reminder down below, if you're interested, GFW Trains has a Discord channel called The Main Line. If you're interested in keeping up the chatter after that, check that out. You got it, Isaiah, the speech. This is my second go around on the speech, but I got to do that. So yeah, for sure. Let's support each other. Right, George?
Yes, support.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you around the roundhouse, everybody.
Don't let caboose hit you on the way out.
And Deckman, thanks again. Everybody, thanks again. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Have a nice glass iced tea. Relax, and we'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.